Hello, valued learners, and welcome back to... I want to pose a thought-provoking question to you today. Would you ever consider brushing your teeth just once a year for 5 intense hours? Of course not. That sounds absurd. Instead, you consistently brush them daily, perhaps for a mere 2 minutes each time, but you do it again and again without fail. Learning English operates on a very similar principle. There's no need to cram for 5 hours in a single day. A far more effective approach is to dedicate a brief period to study every single day. This, my friends, is the true essence of consistent practice. Allow me to elaborate. Being consistent means you engage in an activity repeatedly, day after day. It's not just something you do when motivation strikes or you feel energetic. Rather, it's about doing it frequently, making it a regular part of your routine. That is what we mean by consistent. So, in today's discussion, I'm going to reveal how this commitment to daily, steady practice can utterly transform your communication skills in English. Are you ready to discover the secret? Let's dive in. Why is this dedication to regular, consistent practice so crucial? Here's the primary reason. Your brain thrives on repetition. This simply means performing the same action multiple times. When you repeatedly hear a phrase or sentence, your brain forms stronger connections and retains that information more effectively. Secondly, consistent practice leads to automaticity. Initially, speaking English can feel cumbersome. You might pause, mentally formulate your thoughts, and then translate before speaking. However, with daily practice, your mouth and mind become accustomed to forming phrases. You'll find yourself speaking more rapidly and feeling a greater sense of fluency. Isn't that wonderful? Thirdly, your confidence will significantly improve. Confidence implies a strong belief in your own capabilities, freeing you from hesitation. When you engage with English every day, your self-assurance expands incrementally. Therefore, remember this. A small amount of practice each day is considerably more beneficial than intense study sessions once a month. This is the profound impact of consistent effort, and it's precisely how you can begin revolutionizing your English skills, achieving true transformation, not through one monumental effort, but through a series of small, deliberate steps taken every single day. As I've shared in previous videos, even dedicating just 10 to 15 minutes a day can lead to remarkable growth. But you might be wondering, okay, Tom, what exactly should I be doing during those 15 minutes? Let me present 5 straightforward activities you can incorporate. Feel free to pick one, or if you're feeling ambitious, try a few. First, make listening to English a priority. This is incredibly important. You could choose to listen to a brief podcast or an audio clip. Opt for content specifically designed for English learners, such as a short story, a focused talk, or a simple everyday dialogue. There's no need to grasp every single word. Simply listen and try to identify familiar terms or phrases. You can conveniently listen while you're out for a walk, tidying up your home, or even brewing a cup of tea. Here's the second effective activity. Shadow a short sentence. Shadowing involves listening to a sentence and then articulating it simultaneously with the speaker, much like an echo or a shadow following its source. You actively mimic the original speaker. Our channel, English Unleashed, features several episodes specifically designed for shadowing exercises. This technique greatly assists with your speaking fluidity, pronunciation accuracy, and natural rhythm. You essentially learn to articulate like native speakers. Begin with concise sentences. For instance, try, "I'm going to the shop." Now repeat it with me. "I'm going to the shop." Excellent. By repeating it alongside the speaker again and again, you'll soon find it effortless to say. Next, the third useful action. Read a brief story or a news article. Select something uncomplicated and manageable. It could be a single short narrative or a concise news item. Read at a measured pace. If you encounter an unfamiliar word, first attempt to infer its meaning from the context. If it remains unclear, then check a dictionary. However, try not to interrupt your reading too frequently. The goal is to enjoy the process. Reading exposes you to new vocabulary and diverse sentence structures. The fourth suggestion is to write one paragraph in English. There's no need to produce extensive text. 3 to 5 sentences are perfectly sufficient. You could write about your daily experiences, perhaps reflecting on, "What did I do today?" Alternatively, you might jot down your future plans, considering, "What will I do tomorrow?" This practice helps you refine your grammar, expand your vocabulary, and articulate your thoughts more clearly in English. For example, today I visited the park. I met my friend there. We enjoyed coffee together. The weather was lovely. Finally, here's the fifth impactful activity you can complete in your 10 to 15 minutes. Talk to yourself aloud. Yes, literally speak in English to yourself. You can easily do this in the comfort of your home. No one else needs to overhear you. Simply narrate your actions out loud. For instance, "I'm preparing breakfast. Now I'm putting on my shoes. I'm heading out to work." This process encourages you to think directly in English and significantly boosts your comfort level when speaking. So, imagine you've consistently practiced English today. You listened to a podcast, read a short story, and wrote 5 sentences. What's the immediate outcome? Do you suddenly speak English with native fluency? Not instantaneously. However, something subtle but significant does occur. Let's explore this progression. After just one day of practice, you experience a sense of accomplishment. You feel a quiet satisfaction thinking, "Yes, I achieved something today." Perhaps you acquired a single new word. Maybe you understood one short sentence with greater clarity. These gains might seem minor, but they are genuinely real. For example, you might hear someone say, "How's it going?" And now you distinctly recall that it signifies, "How are you?" It's just one tiny forward step, but it is indeed a step. Following 1 week of consistent practice, you've completed 7 consecutive days of effort. Each day you engaged in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Your brain begins to adapt and feel more at ease with English. You'll find yourself remembering more, and you'll gradually stop mentally translating every word. Step by step, you'll start to infer meanings, and surprisingly, you'll often be correct. Of course, there will be times you're mistaken, but that's perfectly acceptable. For instance, you might encounter the phrase, "I'm heading to the store." Even if you haven't specifically learned this expression before, the surrounding context allows you to deduce that it means, "I'm going to the store." This, my friends, is genuine progress. Now, after 1 month of dedicated practice, your brain has become accustomed to English. It feels natural and familiar. Your vocabulary has expanded, and you articulate phrases a little more quickly. You won't constantly need to consult a dictionary. This is what true learning looks like. Naturally, you might still feel a bit timid initially, wary of making errors. But each time you speak, or write even a small amount, you grow stronger. You'll begin to affirm, I can do this. I am actively learning. I'm not perfect, but I am certainly improving. And that, my friends, is authentic confidence. It doesn't appear overnight. It blossoms gradually, like a growing plant. But it does grow. So, allow me to share some practical advice to help you maintain your momentum. These straightforward suggestions can keep you on track and make your daily practice effortless and enjoyable. Firstly, utilize a calendar or a checklist. Create a simple table or chart. Mark down the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then note what you accomplished. I listened to a podcast. I read a story. I shadowed a sentence. Seeing your progress visibly reinforces your commitment and motivates you to persist. Secondly, set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes. Often we tell ourselves, I have absolutely no time today. While that might feel true, you almost certainly have 10 minutes, don't you? Grab your phone and set a timer. Commit to yourself. I will practice for just 10 minutes. That's all. When the timer signals the end, you're free to stop. Or you might find yourself in a good flow and decide to continue for longer. Thirdly, establish a consistent practice time each day. Strive to integrate English learning into your regular daily routine. Choose a specific time that works best for you. Some individuals prefer to practice in the morning, while others find the evening more suitable. Many utilize their commute on the train or their daily walks. By practicing at the same time every day, it transforms into an ingrained habit, much like your routine of brushing your teeth. And here's the final, critically important point. Make your practice simple and enjoyable. Choose materials and activities that genuinely interest you. Don't compel yourself to engage with boring content. If you enjoy cooking, seek out a recipe written in English. If travel excites you, watch a short travel vlog. Should you have a passion for music, try singing along to an English song. Furthermore, keep your learning resources readily accessible. Have a podcast saved, a short story open on your device, and your notebook within easy reach. When everything is conveniently located, it becomes much simpler to initiate your practice. All right, my friend. Consistency is akin to nurturing a young tree. You provide it with water daily. Initially, you won't observe dramatic changes, but eventually, you'll look upon it and realize how much it has flourished. You are fully capable of this. Simply persevere, keep practicing, and continue to believe in your own potential. I'm Tom, and this is English Unleashed. Until next time.